Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all well. So, welcome to the Busy Moms Wellness Show. Today, this is our May edition, and we have our speaker, Jackie Grant, who is a certified wellness and fitness coach. She will be looking into thriving as a single mom. So, stay tuned and listen. I will mute myself at some point for Jackie to take it away. So, if you're ready, Jackie, please come on and introduce yourself and take it away for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you for inviting me to be on the show. And I just wanted to talk about my experience of being a single mother. But let me introduce myself first. So I'm a menopause and weight loss coach. And so I'm a personal trainer and health coach. Been in the industry for quite a while now. And I help specifically women who are in peri to post menopause who want to lose weight and just feel great, really. And that's a bit about me.
Thank you so much for the introduction. So, are you able to go ahead and share like your journey up till now, thriving as a single mom?
Yes, so my son is quite old now. But when I had him pretty young. So I had my son at 17. And so, at the time, single parents were getting a lot of, bad press really at the time. But I had my son, and I actually lived with my partner initially. But unfortunately, I had to move away from him because he was quite abusive. So I was with him about 3 years. And so I lived in Wembley at the time, actually. So I stayed there for 3 years, and then I moved back home. So I moved back home for a period of time, and that can be very frustrating when you have a very strong and dominant parents who want to take over. And so my son had the ability to ask me, and I'd say no to something, ask my mum, and she'd say no, and then my dad might say yes. So he had a chance to go around and do that. And so I only spent probably about a year and a half with them, and then I moved to Essex. So I moved to Seven Kings, and so my son went to school there. And it was really funny because obviously people could see that I was young. And so, I remember, I will never forget this one time that, I was walking back, and I always took my son to the park on the way home and from school. And one of the ladies said to me, "How do you cope with being on your own?" And I just said to her, "Well, how do you cope with being with your husband?" Do you know what I mean? Because actually I have more autonomy. I didn't have to ask anyone else or say anything to anyone else when I was, sorting out my son. So it was really funny because obviously people's attitudes at the time was, you're so young to have a child. But, so dealing with that was quite, quite an experience, really, having to deal with that because, people just thinking that, because you're young, you can't look after a kid. But actually every woman, doesn't know what they're doing when they start off being a parent. And actually, we're all learning. We all learn, and we all learn different things. We learn from our parents, and we learn from our own experiences. So yeah, so that was interesting. But what the challenge was, because initially I was on benefits, which I didn't really want to stay on, but I went to college then. So when my son was at school, I went to college and I did my access to social work. And because I wanted to be a social worker, I had this crazy idea that I wanted to be a social worker. And I got into Havering College. And yeah, and that first year I got to Havering College, but then I got a job. So I got a job working for
What?
Earls Court YMCA, and that was really interesting because I worked there, and then having to try to juggle someone picking my son up from school and all that kind of way. So, you know, my sister helped, and, you know, it was quite difficult to try and juggle once I had a job. But I didn't want to be on benefits, really. I wanted to experience life and also let my son see that I was working. So that was kind of that was kind of the first experience of starting to work, starting to bring him to school, that kind of experience.
So thank you so much for sharing, wanting your son to see. And I always talk about mums being role models. It's not just from the male that they need to role model to boys, but it's also the environment that they're in. So your sister, your parents having an involvement also support that environment and supporting you as well. So when you, what happened with the social work? So once you started the YMCA job, did it did that also channel you into becoming um, a menopause coach, or how did it come about? Because I'm thinking that now that you've introduced yourself and added a bit more on, I'm thinking that I could be your client, ideal client, because I'm in my 40s and I've had a baby and I want to lose the weight, so I might be your client. But before then, how did you find
So
yourself being a fitness coach?
So it's funny because I deferred that. For a year, and then I actually was going to go, and then I met this woman who had just finished her social work, and actually she had told me that there was quite a bit of racism at Havering College. They were going to get knocked off SWAS, which is a social work body that you have to fill in the form, and so that deterred me from actually going. And then I actually stayed in health and social care for 21 years. So I worked at various different places. So I worked there. I worked at Centrepoint because I started at Centrepoint. That's where I volunteered. I worked at Centrepoint again. I then worked at St Mungo's. I worked at CGL, which was formerly CRI. I worked at Adaction. So I worked at loads of different services. And it wasn't till my last job that I left in 2013. So I'd already started being in the health and wellness field from 2007, because that's when I did my exercise to music. So I started as a fitness instructor and then moved on to do my personal training before specializing in menopause in 2014, and then continued to kind of specialize in that with my personal training, with my health coaching.
That's amazing. So, can you share a bit of a client that you supported? Now that I've said that I might be your ideal client, like perimenopausal, fourth baby in the 40s, all the joints are getting weaker, more tighter, and being in the healthcare profession, I think I need you. So, can you share any testimonial or anything with a client that you've supported that fits that criteria?
Yes. So more or less all my clients are in their 40s and are either pre-menopause still, because they're still having their periods, and they're not irregular or anything like that, and to like some women that are post. So I've got a range of clients that I work with, and a high proportion of them I work with around both like holistically in terms of their nutrition, their exercise, their mindset. And so some people, so I've got a client that's in Germany, so I work with her online, and we do her training sessions online, and then I use my app where she records her food, and she pinpoints her food in the app, and plus people get like either a training program to do outside. It just depends how many sessions someone's doing with me. So some people work with me twice a week, and so I see them twice a week. Some people work with me once a week, and then I work with them around both their nutrition and exercise. And some people, in terms of how they need to be focused, especially when it comes to like you said to me before we came on, it's around like belly fat. A lot of people are really focused on that, but we have to think about the whole body and what is going on for you. Do you see what I'm saying? Because the thing is that stress is a key indicator of belly fat. If there's a lot of cortisol going around, as you probably know, Mary, is that and that can really impact on someone's chance to actually move forward with their nutrition. So it's about getting the nutrition right, and having an understanding of what's going on, what foods your body likes, because as we age, our body tends to not digest certain foods as it previously did. So it's really about like looking at what works for you, because what works for one person doesn't work for another. Yeah, we have to think of people as an individual. I don't know if I've answered your question. I've gone on into a whole rant.
You have answered it, because I like it when you said what I might eat, or my diet or my nutrition wouldn't necessarily be the same for the next woman, even though we fit the same criteria. So each and every one, I think when you touch on holistically, you do like a full assessment based on individuality, so that you're able to support them to achieve,
yes,
whether it's their body goals, their physical goals, nutrition goals that they need to. So currently, when you say, you have a client in Germany, so it's virtual. So do you do more virtual coaching sessions, or you do have face-to-face ones as well, just for local women?
Yes. So in terms of some people, I see them face-to-face. So some people I do personal training face-to-face still. And then others I'm doing virtual, just coaching. So it just depends on what program fits that actual client. Yeah. So some people, they need to just focus on like health coaching. They need to focus on their nutrition, and then I can put a program into my app, and then they can go away and do that. But obviously I keep them accountable through the app, because the app tells me, oh, Susan needs attention because she never did her workout today. Generally, so generally someone sends me a message going, Jackie, I did do the workout, but something happened with the app. So so it's a bit of both. I still do face-to-face clients, and then I do virtual.
So if you meet a younger girl, like a younger version of you, who is currently pregnant, what would be the advice, the general? So that person just comes to you and say that, Jackie, I am pregnant and this is my age. What would be the first advice, or the advice that you give to that younger person?
So in terms of their health, their fitness, what would the person be coming to me for particularly? Because like, you have to give me a question. What are they? Because if someone presented with me, says that they're pregnant, right? I would say to them, what are their health and fitness goals, right? And also I would like to discover what were they doing previously, because if they're pregnant, if they're currently working out, then that's fine. But to start something when you're already pregnant can be a bit difficult. It's actually, you know, better that they started before, but you know, so would have to like get their doctor to actually say that they can do some training. If it was around training, if it was around nutrition, then
So,
you know, that's a different story.
mhm.
Sorry, were you saying something?
So in terms of a younger, like a 16-year-old, yes,
Sorry.
In terms of a younger teenager who is
Oh, I
pregnant at the
see what you
moment,
mean.
what would
Sorry,
be the
sorry.
advice for them?
Oh, I see. Sorry, I completely went off tack. Yes. Okay. So if as our younger version, me, and the person was pregnant, okay. So what I would say to them is to find a support network that is local, because I must admit, when I was pregnant, I was actually with his dad still, and I didn't find a support network that supported me. So I used to go for walks, long walks by myself. So I was by myself quite a lot of the time. So I would definitely find some kind of support network, you know, whether there was other single mothers groups locally, actually go into the antenatal, because that was one thing I didn't do. I didn't want to go to the antenatal because like I felt like, although I was in South London at the time, so they had a young mother's kind of antenatal session, and I think I went once. But what I would say is to go, if to my younger self, to go to that because I think that what happened was the nearer it was getting to having my son, was the scared I got about what was going to happen.
Yeah, and that is always the case, even if you've had a multiple pregnancies and multiple births, closer to the time of birth, because it's the fear of the unknown, isn't it? You're chancing into that group. And I really liked when you say that you have to find a support network. So that could be, your immediate family. If you can find that, then obviously into the local community, and then the local NHS trust as well. They do support services. And we do have charitable organizations and also like community interest groups that focus on pregnancy. So it's really great for you to touch on support network, which is really, really important. And at this time of mental well-being, I think it's right at the top for you to have a safer support network so that you're able to get information and then act on it, and get someone that you can go to if you really need to talk. So if people want to find you, where would they have to go?
Yeah, so to find me, I am, so my Facebook is Jacqueline Grant, or you'll find me Instagram. I keep always changing the name of it. It's just got out of my head. Hey Brain Fog, thank you very much. So I am Jackie Weight Loss with Jackie G on Instagram. I've got a Facebook group which is balancing your hormones for weight loss, and that's on Facebook, so you can find me there as well.
I was looking for my phone to just try and follow it now. But
that's all
baby
right.
has put it on the floor, but that's fine. So thank you so much. Is there anything that you want to add on? For instance, do you have any programs coming up, or if anyone wants to sign up or wants to speak to you, they have to go to?
Okay, so I have a 5-day meal plan for menopause weight loss. So I can pass that on to you, Mary. And yeah, that's free. It's a free 5-day. I've just had some feedback because I just only released that probably a month ago. So I had some feedback from a lady who lost 5 pounds, and she just shifted some of the meal plan in terms of that, you know, in terms of the food that she likes. But yeah, if you are interested in getting that, I can pass that on to Mary.
Okay, so if you share that link, what I'll do is I'll go back to this live and then put it in the comments so that it's easier for people to, if they want to jump on it, they can just literally click and then take the necessary steps. Okay, so
Brilliant.
You heard Jackie. You know, she talked about thriving as a single mom, where she started from. If you missed this live, the reflection. So if you have anything for Jackie at all, if you want to sign up to a free 5-day program, I'll put the link in the comment section. Please, please, please go ahead and, you know, sign up and make sure that you're taking all the benefits from it. I am definitely going to check it out because I fit her client group. So that is what I'm going to do. So next week, we will come your way again with another busy mom coming their personal growth. So have a blessed day. Bye.